You've been asking me on this video how to find a high quality manufacturer. And what most people think is that you have to have thousands of dollars, have a lot of connections, and you're worried about the manufacturer stealing your design, which is not true. I started with $200, 0 connections, and I found a way to ensure that they wouldn't steal my design. Please know that you came to the right place. The truth is, most people get scammed or overwhelmed because they don't know what red flags to look for, or they don't know what mistakes to avoid. Let's get into this mini crash course where I share all the secrets behind manufacturing. Hi sister, welcome back, or if you're new here, I'm Michaela, and I'm the woman behind Made by the Word, a luxury journal brand. And I also help powerhouse women like you amplify their authority, expand their business, and live a life of fulfillment with God by their side. And if that's something you're building, go ahead and subscribe because I break it all down here on this channel. And if you ever want more from me than just these YouTube videos, you can check out my best-selling program, Printed Product to Profit. This is where I break down these step-by-step exactly how you can create your product in just 30 days or less. Or the Inner Circle, the only place in the industry where female founders come to accelerate their business, amplify their voice, and multiply their movements rooted in God. As always, the links are going to be in the description. Let's break down some common terms that you've probably heard before, and I just want to differentiate them for you. So when I'm referencing different vocab, you're going to know what I'm talking about. For example, suppliers. Suppliers source or resell existing goods. Manufacturers produce custom goods directly, and an agent or a product developer acts as the middleman. They're the ones who communicate for you. They're the ones who talk to the manufacturer, make sure the product is right. This is what I do for my done-for-you clients. And there are different platforms that you can find a manufacturer. I specifically use Alibaba. It's super easy to use. It's user-friendly. It is my favorite platform. You can also check out Doxu or mfg.com, but for the remainder of the video, I'm going to be referencing Alibaba because that's what I use. Before we get into the manufacturing process, one of the most important things that you need to know is that you must have product clarity, because you won't be able to find the right manufacturer if you don't even know what you want. This is the foundation, because this is how you're going to be able to notice what excellence will look like to you. Here's exactly what you're going to want to clarify. Number one, the type of product. Is it a journal? Is it a planner? Is it a notepad? Is it a sticky note? Number two, the function. Is it a statement piece where you're going to want a hardcover? Is it a planner that they're taking everywhere and you want them to have a spiral? Is it for daily use and you want to provide them a paperback? Number three, the detail. What's the size of your product? What's the thickness of the paper? Are you going to have a ribbon bookmark? Do you want linen fabric on the cover? For example, I created a custom planner where I knew that she was going to have a magnetic opening. So one of the first things I did when I was talking to the manufacturers, asked them if this is something that they were able to do. And number four, the experience. How do you want them to feel when they're opening your product? For example, with our newest product, Just One More Day Journal, I knew that I wanted to provide them a custom vegan leather handbag that was super luxury. When they opened it, it was an experience and something that they can utilize longer than just one day. So that's why I didn't want to use a paper box like I did with my first product. As a founder who desires a luxury, high quality product that your customers are going to rave about, that your customer is going to tell their friends about, you must obsess over the experience before you ever design the product. So my encouragement to you is to create a product vision sheet. You want to include images, videos, market research, a lot of the topics that we already discussed in this video. And if you're unsure on exactly what to create, you can watch my invisible offer system where I break down how to actually come up with ideas for your product. Overall, having product clarity is going to show you exactly what to look for and what questions to ask. Now let's get into how you're going to vet a manufacturer, because once you know what you want, then you can find who can deliver it for you. Because we're not just hoping for quality. Having a luxury product, a high quality product, means we are paying for consistency, reliability, precision, which is why vetting a manufacturer is so crucial to this entire process. When you're vetting a manufacturer, do not just go with the first one who responds, because I'm telling you, more than likely likely they're all going to respond. You're going to want to make sure they are a verified supplier, which on Alibaba, they will tell you that. You want to look at their years of experience, their reviews, their product photos. You want to ensure that these are not product photos that AI made, but they are indeed photos of their work that they've actually produced. There are so many people who get scammed by that statement alone. They just go off of these photos that honestly you see on Shein, you see on Pinterest. Be aware that that is a red flag. Whenever you're messaging them, you also want to ask if they have any certifications. So a popular one in the printed product industry is an FSC certification. So most manufacturers do have this, but not all of them. An FSC certification basically means that they are utilizing paper that comes from managed forests, which benefits the ecosystem. And the manufacturers that I have used are all FSC certified. Again, this is not a requirement, but I highly suggest it. And as you're communicating with the manufacturer, you really want to ensure that you are checking on their communication quality. Are they quick to respond? Do they take forever to respond? Are they actually answering your questions, or are they beating around the bush? I would ensure that you are analyzing all of these aspects, because right now you don't have a product, but what happens later on in the process when you have a deadline that you need to meet and they aren't responding as fast as you would like them to, or the quality that they're providing isn't as consistent like you thought. So you want to ensure that they have quality assurance measures in place in the case that the product isn't actually what you thought it would be. This leads me into the communication that you have with your manufacturer. There is an art to communicating with manufacturers, and they can quickly tell when you don't know what you're doing, which dilutes your authority and the chance of you getting better deals in the future. And you can tell a manufacturer's integrity by the way they communicate with you before you ever place an order. One of the biggest things when you are dealing with a manufacturer is truly building a relationship with them. And that's what I do through the way that I communicate. And you don't have to communicate like I do, which is being super friendly, sending emojis, truly caring about how their day is going. But look, you do what works for you. That's just who I am in general. Something to keep in mind is when you are talking to the manufacturers, majority of them are overseas, especially if you are going through the site Alibaba like me. You can expect to be messaging them late at night or early in the morning. They're pretty much, I believe, 12 hours ahead of us. So when it's 9 p.m. here, it's morning there. And that's really what's helped me understand if I'm gonna have an early morning or if I'm gonna stay up late and talk to them. Of course, you can utilize a manufacturer that's in the United States, but the process is going to be a little different. And here are some of the questions that I ask every single time that I contact a manufacturer. I actually wrote them down all on my computer, so I'm going to read them to you. Can you create insert product? What's your MOQ? MOQ means minimum order quantity. So first, they really don't want to start off with 1,000 pieces of a journal. So you can ask them, hey, is it possible for me to order 250, for me to order 500? It really just depends on the manufacturer and how nice you are to them sometimes, because sometimes they will pull some strings in order for you to get what you desire. What customization options do you offer? Here's what I'm looking for. Is this something that you can actually create? I'm going to pop up an example on the screen of a message that I've actually sent asking this exact question, because I'll have these random ideas and I have no idea if it's even possible, but I'm not just going to count the idea out. I'm going to ensure that I ask them to make sure that we can bring this to life. And if they say no, I'm going to say, well, direct me to the person that can. Just for example, with my Just One More Day journal, I wanted to create a journal that had a tear off page on the inside. So what I did is say, hey, I want to produce a journal that has a tear out page. Is it possible for me to have this done and include it towards the center? And they said, we're not able to put it at the center of the journal, but we can actually put it at the very beginning of the journal or at the very end. And so I went with the very end of the journal. So there is a tear off page that they can actually utilize to hand off and give to somebody. And that's just an idea that God gave me. Can I see certifications and past work? What is your sampling process and timeline? That one's super important because I always suggest ordering a sample, which we'll talk about soon. And how do you handle quality assurance checks? Another important question is to ask, what does their payment structure look like? And how many revisions are allowed once you actually receive the sample product? And when you're ready to communicate with the manufacturer, just know I hooked you up and I put a communication checklist in the description below. Now that I told you what to do, let's talk about the mistakes that you need to avoid. These are the most common mistakes that I've seen founders make from working with them, and even seasoned entrepreneurs fall into them whenever they rush. Number one, creating a product for yourself versus solving a specific problem that the customer needs. If you make a product just because it's something that you desire, you are not going to make any sales other than maybe your friends and your family who just want to support you. And if you're wanting this to be a business, which I assume that you do, you want to ensure you're creating a product that is actually going to solve a problem for somebody. Number two, only messaging one manufacturer. When you only message one manufacturer, you have no leverage. And what I'm referencing when I say leverage is when you talk to one manufacturer and they tell you it's going to be $500 for a sample, but you talk to another manufacturer and they tell you it's going to be $600 for a sample. You can tell the manufacturer who tried to charge you $600, tell them that they give you a better deal here, and say, hey, can you give me a better deal than $500? That's what I mean by leveraging the people that you're talking to and why it's so important to message more than just one. Which leads me into number three, not negotiating. When you don't negotiate, you tend to overpay because they'll just give you a price and see if you're gonna take it. But what I've learned is that negotiating is really helpful. Number four, not checking reviews. Checking reviews are so important. I want you to think about all the times that you've checked reviews, whether it's to go to a specific restaurant that you want to try, or maybe it's a specific skincare that you want to try. Reviews are so important for you to vet and ensure that you are buying something that's high quality. But just because someone has a specific experience with a specific manufacturer, it doesn't mean that that's going to be the same experience you have. So you just want to ensure and check to see if they have multiple 5 stars versus the 2 1 stars that you just happen to see. I would just read them and ensure that if it's something that really matters to you, you can go ahead and communicate that to the manufacturer and just ensure that same situation doesn't happen. And number 5, ignoring quality assurance. If you ignore quality assurance, you are most likely going to have a poor final product. There are manufacturers out there who just aren't consistent. I've dealt with one before, so I would know. You just don't want to work with someone who's a hassle to work with, and you really don't want to work with someone where your product looks super nice the first time you get it, but then the next time it just doesn't look the same. Or even you tell them a change that needs to be made, and then they don't make the change when they produce a new product. Those are all quality assurance checks that I really want you to be sure of, because I've dealt with that before and it wasted so much time. So much of my time, which became a very expensive mistake on their end. But I was the one affected from it. Let's dive a little deeper into negotiating like a pro. I know I just briefly mentioned it, but I've seen people spend $10,000 on bulk orders because they skipped this step. So here's how you do it. When you have more quotes, you have more leverage. This is where you have the power to negotiate on your terms. So reach out to as many manufacturers as you can, telling them exactly what you want based on the communication checklist that you downloaded in the description, and start comparing and contrasting the investment. Based on the man that you actually want to work with, you want to send them a message and tell them another supplier or manufacturer offered me this same product at this investment. Can you match that or give me a better deal? Be kind, be firm, be respectful, but also don't let them play you. Remember, this is you building a partnership. And just like you want to work with a quality manufacturer, they are also vetting you at the same time to see if you are going to be the person that they actually desire to work with. And like it or not, when you treat someone nicer, they're more likely to do nicer things for you throughout the process and even save you a lot of money over time. That's what it's done for me. So I know it's going to do the same for you. And the official way for you to test your manufacturer if it is high quality is ordering a sample product. This is the step that you do not skip, never, ever. Because the first product that you ever order that's a sample, you're probably not gonna like it. Or if you do like it, there are going to be a lot of changes that you are going to wanna make. So if you are someone who has ordered from a manufacturer and when you got your sample, you weren't impressed and then you just quit out of disappointment or discouragement, I want to remind you that that is 100% normal. I've gone through it. So many other people have gone through it too. And over time, you're going to learn how to actually communicate better the things that you actually want. It doesn't matter if you're in fashion and printed products. It's not going to be perfect the first time. And that's with anything that you do in life, is to always have a beginner's mindset. And I'm mentioning this because I know how it feels to work so hard on something and the product not be exactly what you wanted it to be the first time you receive it. But when you get this product, I want you to utilize it as if you were the customer. I want you to put it in your bag. I want you to leave it on your desk. I want you to use it. I want you to write in it, because this is going to tell you if there are changes that you actually need to make based on the actual usage of the product. This is how I personally call a lot of small things, like the spacing being off on the pages, even the thickness of the paper wanting to go even thicker than what I had it before. Even like the first time I ordered this packaging, when I opened it and it closed, it reeked of fish. It smelled so bad. I had to send them a message like, I cannot order this in bulk if it's gonna smell like fish. Imagine this closing and the whiff of fish hits you as you're looking at this beautiful journal. I told them, I said, no, we're not doing this. You got to figure out a way to make this smell go away. And so we figured it out over time and now it's perfect. But just imagine if I just went ahead and ordered the product, I would have had 500 of these vegan leather handbags that smelled like fish. That would have been terrible. I personally enjoy talking about samples so much. I have so much more I can say about it. So if this is something that you would like me to create a video on, please let me know in the comments and tell me if there's anything specific that I can cover as well. I pray this gave you clarity on how to start finding your high quality manufacturer so that you can move forward with confidence and authority, knowing that you found the exact one that fits your needs and what you're trying to create. And I can't wait to see what you come up with and what you find. Okay, love you, bye.